All right, what's going on, everybody? Sports Expert here, and we are going to be doing our 2021 mock draft pre-Super Bowl. So, if you guys are interested in more NFL videos, and yeah, please hit the subscribe button if you're new. Turn on post notifications, like, comment. I would appreciate it. We do a video NBA NFL video every day. So yeah, we're going to be doing a 2021 mock draft pre-Super Bowl. So here we go. With the first pick in the draft, I have the Jacksonville Jaguars selecting Trevor Lawrence, quarterback out of Clemson. This should obviously be a no-brainer, as Lawrence is easily the best player in the class, one of the best draft prospects ever, quarterback-wise. And, he's getting comparisons to Andrew Luck and even Peyton Manning, like top prospects since Luck and Manning. So this would be a huge addition for a Jacksonville Jaguars team now led by Urban Meyer. And so I would really like the move for this team. And Darrell Bevell, the new offensive coordinator. So, they can work with Lawrence in his rookie year, see what he can do. As I think he's going to make a big impact. So I really think Lawrence is going to do something. He's going to look nice in his rookie year. But yeah, this should be an obvious pick. With the second pick in the draft, I have the New York Jets selecting Penei Sewell, offensive tackle out of Oregon. A lot of people might be confused about this because I don't have them selecting a quarterback. I have that slight feeling they're not going quarterback here right now. But, that could change later in my later mocks. So I have Penei Sewell going to the Jets, as the Jets have looked for offensive line help for a while now. Seems like they found their franchise left tackle in Mekhi Becton. So a guy like Sewell definitely could make sense for this team if they want to build around Darnold, get another tackle over there. And you can probably get guys like Juju Smith-Schuster in free agency and build through the draft for Darnold. So I think this would be a great fit for the Jets and a good start to the rebuild. With the third pick in the 2021 NFL Draft, I have the Miami Dolphins selecting Devontae Smith, wide receiver out of Alabama, whose stock has risen a ton. The Dolphins are probably going to be in a market for a receiver, potentially, if they don't get one in free agency, or even if they do. And I don't think they can pass up on a guy like Devontae Smith. I think he had too good of a season to potentially pass up on, and his draft stock has just went up humongously, insane, drastically. Devontae Smith, what a season. He had one of the best seasons of a college receiver ever, won the Heisman Trophy. Dolphins need to consider him here at 3. Just helps Tua a ton. He played with Tua in college. This is going to be a very, very interesting draft to see where Smith goes. I think Miami is definitely the favorite for him. And if he is there, you might have to pick him. Maybe the third overall pick might be a reach for a receiver, but some team like Atlanta or Detroit's probably taking him. So you're probably going to have to take him there if you want Devontae Smith, if you're Miami. With the fourth pick in the 2021 NFL Draft, I have the Atlanta Falcons selecting Zach Wilson, quarterback out of BYU. The reason why I have Zach Wilson going over Justin Fields, I'm an Ohio State fan, so I would know who's better, and I've watched a lot of Zach Wilson this year. I just think Wilson is the better prospect, maybe not the better QB in total, but the better prospect. I feel like he is he's more of a flawless player. I think he has the metrics in the NFL. Fields has a ton of concerns. I don't think Wilson has as many concerns. So I like Wilson in Atlanta. I think he would fit Arthur Smith's scheme perfectly. You could potentially make him like a Ryan Tannehill type quarterback if that happens. This team could succeed very, very early in Arthur Smith's tenure. So I would really like this draft selection by the Atlanta Falcons, as Arthur Smith would be doing something great with this team to start. I like Wilson. At number 5, I have the Cincinnati Bengals selecting Rashawn Slater, offensive tackle out of Northwestern. I believe he opted out the season, but his draft stock has been going up, as he is definitely one of the best tackles in this draft. So he was one of the top prospects coming out. He declared for the draft, opted out, so to get ready. But I think he's definitely one of those guys that could definitely fit Cincinnati. I'm not 100% sure where he's going to be at left or right tackle, but they'll probably work that out. They have Jonah Williams at left tackle right now. And I actually have them signing Alejandro Villanueva in free agency. But, I have him on a 2-year deal. Maybe you can develop Slater, or even if Jonah Williams struggles, you could definitely put Slater in there. Or you could probably move one of Williams and Slater to guard. You could definitely do that if you're Cincinnati. That is not a horrible thing to do, as you can have a prospect who can be versatile and play both guard and tackle. That would be huge for Cincinnati, and I like the fit here. I think he's definitely a guy they need to look out for. With the 6th overall pick, I have the Eagles selecting Jamar Chase, wide receiver out of LSU. This team's going to be looking for some weapons for Carson Wentz, as they hired Nick Sirianni as head coach. That kind of confirms that they're leaning towards keeping Wentz, as that is Frank Reich's sidekick, former offensive coordinator of the Eagles, when Wentz almost won MVP. So it definitely makes sense to take a guy like Jamar Chase to help out the offense. You could argue he's a better prospect than Smith, but I disagree. I think Devontae Smith kind of sealed that watching him this season. So as I have Chase, and he opted out the season too, as they didn't have a ton of talent on that LSU team. But Jamar Chase to Philly would be a great fit. I think it would be a jump start to the rebuild and what they're trying to do, or the retool, whatever you want to call it. So yeah. With the 7th pick, I have the Detroit Lions selecting Justin Fields, quarterback out of Ohio State. They're looking for a quarterback now that them and Matthew Stafford will be parting ways. So, Justin Fields is a guy that could definitely be a hit for Lions team that is going to be run by Brad Holmes and John Dorsey. So, and Justin Fields is definitely a guy that Dorsey and Holmes seem to potentially like, and I feel like they're just going to go at it. They're going to go at it and take him. They could take Trey Lance here. Definitely possible, but I think Fields is the guy they're going to take. So, but we'll see. I thought they would take Devontae Smith, but but that was before Stafford and them parted ways. With the 8th pick, I have the Carolina Panthers selecting Trey Lance, quarterback out of North Dakota State. They're going to be looking for a quarterback too. Who knows what they're going to do with Teddy Bridgewater. Bridgewater was underperforming this season. He had a good start this season, but really fell off towards the end. I mean, they didn't have CMC, obviously, but, they're going to look for a quarterback still, and I feel like the draft is where they're going to look at. They could go for Watson or Stafford, but I think Trey Lance is a guy that's going to fit with Matt Rule and that and the culture over there and what they're trying to do with potential rebuild. So I actually don't think Matt Rule had a bad first season, but I think a quarterback rebuild with Lance is going to help, and I think it's something they need to consider. Even though Lance only played one game this season in college, didn't look amazing, he's still a first-round talent. With the 9th pick in the 2021 NFL Draft, I have the Broncos selecting Patrick Surtain, the second quarterback out of Alabama. Easily the best corner in college football. I don't think there's any debate about it. I mean, what a season he had. Best cover corner, best all-around corner, everything. Last year, I had Okudah as the best all-around corner and C.J. Henderson as the best cover corner. I believe he's the best cover and all-around corner, Patrick Surtain. He's that good. I mean, if Denver passes up on him, that's obviously absurd, because I could see him cutting AJ Boye this offseason, who's making an insane $11 million. He's getting kind of washed. He's been injury prone the last couple seasons. I wouldn't pay him all that money, and a guy like Surtain can definitely help that defense. And especially if you re-sign Justin Simmons, you could have a nice start to the secondary with Surtain and Simmons. And if Kareem Jackson comes back, that'd be huge. And Bryce Callahan, that's a nice secondary. With the 10th pick in the 2021 NFL Draft, I have the Dallas Cowboys selecting Christian Darrisaw, offensive tackle out of Virginia Tech. They're probably going to be looking for a new left tackle, as Tyron Smith is getting very old. He's been injury prone. He's probably not going to be with Dallas very long, so I could see Darrisaw developing under him, and, who knows? Maybe Tyron Smith, maybe they get rid of him this offseason and they go with Darrisaw, because I don't see any other position the Cowboys would consider taking. Maybe they go for Kyle Pitts, but I don't think that's going to happen. I just don't have after they selected CeeDee Lamb last year, I don't think they're going to go for another weapon in the first round. I mean, defense is something they could go after. Maybe they could go after like a corner. But I think Surtain was probably their number one target, and now he's off the board. I think they're going to go with the offensive tackle, as I feel like Darrisaw is just too good to pass up on. I mean, this could change, obviously, as I'm going to have a lot of mocks out, but Darrisaw is the guy I have Dallas selecting and who they should select right now. With the 11th pick in the 2021 NFL Draft, I have the New York Giants selecting Jalen Waddle, wide receiver, Alabama. Like I said, the Giants are going to be in the wide receiver market. They need a receiver. Shepard, Tate, and Slayton ain't cutting it. So, I mean, they'll keep some of those guys, but they need an upgrade, and Jalen Waddle is the perfect fit for this team. They get some speed, some athleticism, and, another weapon to help Daniel Jones in the future, as they've already stated that Daniel Jones will be the franchise guy unless something drastically happens, even though he had kind of a rough year. He played better towards the end of the year, but they're still leaning on him to be the potential franchise guy. They're not giving up on him, and he'll be the starting quarterback again for the Giants. They won't be any quarterback market for Watson or anything like that. They're going to start Daniel Jones, and Jalen Waddle's the guy I definitely take here that's available. With the 12th pick in the 2021 NFL Draft, I have the San Francisco 49ers selecting J.C. Horn, corner out of South Carolina. J.C. Horn is a guy that's going to be looked at by a ton of NFL teams. A ton of mocks have him going to Arizona, but I think he's going to go earlier. Maybe the 49ers try to get a Richard Sherman replacement in the first round here, as Richard Sherman has kind of stated that he is probably going to be gone. So, I forgot to mention, next week I'm going to have my mock with trades. This is without trades. So J.C. Horn with San Francisco, I think it would be a nice fit. Gets a nice young piece on that defense. He played with Javon Kinlaw, so obviously that's going to help. So I think this is a guy they're going to consider, and I really think it would be a great fit for the San Francisco 49ers with DeMeco Ryans' defense. With the 13th pick in the 2021 NFL Draft, I have the Los Angeles Chargers selecting Azeez Ojulari, edge out of Georgia. He had a monster season. He had a monster Peach Bowl game versus Cincinnati, even though it was the backup left tackle. He did some things that most guys wouldn't even do versus a backup left tackle. I mean, he was getting pressure after pressure. I mean, Azeez Ojulari, give him props. His draft stock has risen a ton. Chargers are probably looking for another edge rusher, as Melvin Ingram's likely to depart in free agency. He's getting old, and I think this is a guy that would help the defense a ton, bolster the defense. They're going to have to make sure Joey Bosa stays healthy, and just in case he can't, Ojulari should be the guy they take. He would be nice. He would definitely a great start to the Brandon Staley tenure in Los Angeles, and I think it's definitely a great pickup here. With the 14th pick in the 2021 NFL Draft, I have the Minnesota Vikings selecting Christian Barmore, defensive tackle out of Alabama. His draft stock went from first round to second round. Now it's back to top 15 potentially after his performance versus Ohio State. He just bulldozed the heck out of that Ohio State offensive line. Wyatt Davis, Josh Myers, Paris Johnson Jr., all were getting destroyed by Christian Barmore himself. This is going to be a guy that is going to be pursued by a ton of NFL teams. He is not going to last very long. No way. And, Raekwon Davis, who actually fell to the second round last year, former defensive tackle from Alabama. He's played for the Dolphins. He had a really nice year, and hopefully a team, whoever picks up Barmore, can capitalize with that, as Barmore would be a great fit for Minnesota. Minnesota needs defensive tackle help bad. Michael Pierce opted out. They'll have him back, and they'll probably find someone else aside him, like Barmore. So watch out for Barmore. I think he's going to be a guy that potentially goes off in his rookie year. He'll be a defensive rookie of the year candidate early. With the 15th pick in the 2021 NFL Draft, I have the New England Patriots selecting Kyle Pitts, tight end out of Florida. There is no question the Patriots will be looking for weapons. They could draft a quarterback here, but I think they're going to go for some guy. They're going to try to fish for Stafford. Maybe they even try to go for Robinson and Galladay too. So watch my free agency prediction videos. I have predictions there. So I just posted that yesterday. Kyle Pitts, tight end out of Florida. Perfect fit for the Patriots and what Bill Belichick's trying to do over there with Josh McDaniels. They're kind of retooling. I don't think they're totally rebuilding, but they're retooling. Pitts would be a nice option. They've been looking for a tight end for a while. He's probably the next Darren Waller type player, and that would be perfect for New England. New England could go off with Pitts, So I like the move for New England here if that happens. With the 16th pick in the 2021 NFL Draft, I have the Arizona Cardinals selecting Jalen Phillips, edge out of Miami. The uncertainty of Hassan Reddick potentially leaving in free agency. He's going to want a lot of money. I don't know if Arizona is going to be willing to do that, and they're probably going to need an edge rusher. So, this guy, Jalen Phillips, he committed to UCLA, number one recruit in the 2017 class. I mean, he just didn't play very well at UCLA, had concussion problems, transferred to Miami, and was one of the best in the nation here. And I believe his draft stock is higher than Gregory Rousseau's right now after Rousseau opted out the season. It's unbelievable. So, and Jalen Phillips is one of those guys that in the early part of his career, you might not want to put a top edge rusher next to him, because if you do, he probably won't get as much production or attention. But I like Phillips here for Arizona. If J.C. Horn's here, they're probably going to potentially take him if they don't keep Patrick Peterson, but who knows. As Jalen Phillips to Arizona would be huge. His draft stock has went up drastically, and he would be someone that they should look out for by the draft. With the 17th pick, I have the Raiders selecting Kwity Paye, edge out of Michigan. His draft stock might fall a bit, and that's not because of his performance or anything, just because of the emergence of guys like Jalen Phillips and Azeez Ojulari, Christian Barmore. I mean, and he was on a bad team, Kwity Paye, so they're going to look at the attention's going to go to guys with better teams. Obviously, Georgia, Miami, Alabama. So, but Kwity Paye is very talented. This would be a great pickup for the Raiders. They're going to be looking for someone on that defensive line. They have Clelin Ferrell and Max Crosby right now, but someone on the edge, if they can get someone, or maybe he'll probably play a lot of interior as well. So watch out for that. If Clelin Ferrell and Max Crosby can both pan out during training camp, there's no doubt that Crosby is going to start. But Ferrell, if he can pan out, Kwity Paye will probably play inside. But if not, Kwity Paye will be out on the edge. Maybe they try to put Ferrell inside, and maybe he can sit on the bench for a little bit and try to learn a bit from a guy like Max Crosby, who's been very good in only 2 seasons. But Kwity Paye is a guy they need to keep their eye on here. With the 18th pick, I have the Dolphins selecting Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, linebacker out of Notre Dame. I believe he is the second most talented linebacker in this draft. I believe the number one talented is Micah Parsons, but there's a lot of concerns about Micah Parsons. We'll get to that in a little bit. As JOK, a lot of people he's known as, he's very athletic, great in pass coverage, great in run stopping. He's great at everything. He's an all-around linebacker who can do anything for your football team. He can improve your defense. I mean, this would be a huge pickup for Miami. I really like these linebackers in the first round. Or they could go in the second round, but I like these potential first-round prospects like Koramoah, Zaven Collins, Nick Bolton, Parsons. All these guys that I actually wasn't too high on Nick Bolton. Then I watched a little bit, learned a little bit. He actually is a really nice player. But I have the Dolphins taking Owusu-Koramoah. They need a linebacker. If they can get one, that'd be huge. As a guy like Jerome Baker, he's a nice linebacker, but it seems like he's been playing. He's playing a bit of edge right now, which is a thing that Miami's trying to get him to do. And if they can get a real linebacker like Koramoah, that'd be perfect. With the 19th pick, I have the Washington football team selecting Mac Jones, quarterback out of Alabama. They'll be looking for a quarterback this offseason. And if there's a team that gets Mac Jones, it will be the football team. They're going to try to take him over Chicago. If Chicago gets a quarterback this offseason, gets a trade or free agency, then they won't have to worry. But I think Washington is going to look out for Mac Jones. Maybe they go for Cam Newton, but I don't think it's going to be realistic for him to start anywhere next season. So Mac Jones, his draft stock has went up a ton with the way he's performed. I mean, he's going to be monitored by a ton of teams. Watch out for a lot of teams to be interested in him in the quarterback market. And Mac Jones will fall right here in Washington's lap, and that's who they're going to target. I mean, with the 20th pick, I have the Chicago Bears selecting Terrence Marshall, Jr., wide receiver out of LSU. I mean, Marshall, his draft stock, another guy. I mean, he was looking like another top receiver at LSU, and now with Jamar Chase out for the season, he was able to step up and be the number one guy. And look at him. I mean, he's going to probably be a first-round pick. I'd be shocked if he wasn't. He'd definitely be a steal in the second round if he got there, but I think he's going first round. Marshall, I mean, I just don't think the Bears can pass up on him. With Allen Robinson likely leaving the Bears, I have my free agency video up. My decision on Robinson's there. So I think Marshall is a guy they're going to pursue, and he's going to be there. There's a lot of other guys that they could potentially take, but Marshall, I think he's the guy. They could take a guy that may have been on the radar was Ohio State's Chris Olave, but he's staying in college, so he's off the board. With the 21st pick, I have the Colts selecting Alex Leatherwood, offensive tackle out of Alabama. With the retirement of longtime left tackle Anthony Castonzo, they're going to be in the left tackle market this offseason. They could go for Villanueva or maybe a guy like, there's a lot of free agent guys out there they could go for. But I think or maybe they could trade for a guy. But the most realistic, I think, for them would be in the draft potentially with Mac Jones now gone. So I think Leatherwood is a guy they're going to pursue, and he's really had a nice season with Alabama. One of the best offensive tackles in the nation. I'd be shocked if he didn't go first round. With the 22nd pick, I have the Titans selecting Gregory Rousseau, edge out of Miami. I have him falling here to Tennessee. Tennessee needs an edge rusher. The They're the worst pass rushing team in football. Jadeveon Clowney's gone. That's probably good for them because he was bad this year. They're going to look for a replacement. Greg Rousseau. I mean, Vic Beasley didn't work over there either. They cut him, actually. So, Rousseau, watch out for him to potentially be an option for the Tennessee Titans. I mean, if he falls here, they have to take him. They have to. I don't think there's any excuse, and I think they will. As I think the Titans are going to really try to bolster that defensive line this offseason. That's going to be one of their top priorities this offseason. With the 23rd pick, I have the Jets selecting Joseph Asai, edge out of Texas. He's going to fall here, and Robert Saleh is going to take a guy this versatile. He can play linebacker, he can play edge, he can play anything. He's that good. I like Asai a lot. He some people may say he's he would have to be in the right scheme, but I think he could fit in any scheme. He's that talented. He's very versatile too, so I don't think there's much of a issue with Osai, but there's a lot of people that think that there's issues with him in a scheme fit, but I think he'll be okay. So, but the Jets, they'll probably look for some defense. I think he would be a nice fit. If Rousseau falls here, they might consider taking him. So, but I don't think that's gonna happen. I think they're gonna have to settle for a guy like him. So, yeah. But here we go. The 24th pick, I have the Steelers selecting Samuel Cosmi, offensive tackle out of Texas, with Villanueva leaving. I feel like they're not going to probably be able to spend on a left tackle, so the draft would probably be something they look out for. Maybe they draft a tackle here, then a running back in the second round with already an elite defense. So Cosmi, a guy that could definitely fit. I mean, he could be a steal in this draft, as Steelers are going to look for a tackle. Like I said, Cosmi can do a lot, can block, run and block, pass block. I mean, anything the Steelers would want in Cosmi. That's what they would need. With the 25th pick, I have the Jaguars selecting Wyatt Davis, guard out of Ohio State. His draft stock might fall a bit due to a knee injury he suffered in the national title game, but, it would be a great pickup for Jacksonville. He could play right guard like he did in college alongside Andrew Norwell, who had a great season last year. I think this would definitely be huge for Jacksonville, and Davis can recover. This would be huge. He was also coached by Urban Meyer, so there's a relationship there. With the 26th pick, I have the Cleveland Browns selecting Micah Parsons, linebacker out of Penn State. His draft stock seems to be falling due to some serious issues with his behavior as of late. I mean, that teams are going to likely pursue. They're going to pursue guys that don't have behavioral issues. But if there's one team that needs to go for Parsons, it has to be the Cleveland Browns. They have issues with their linebacking core, probably the worst in football. They're going to be looking for talent, and Micah Parsons is that guy. Do they want to risk it? I don't know. But, they took Josh Gordon. They dealt with him for a few years, so I could see them taking Parsons, but it's very, very possible that they pass up on him too. With the 27th pick, I have the Baltimore Ravens selecting Rashad Bateman, wide receiver out of Minnesota. The Ravens will be in the receiver market, no question about it. Bateman's a guy that would fit perfectly for Lamar Jackson in this Greg Roman offense. He would probably I think Bateman's one of those guys that could make this offense much more tricky for teams and much more unfigureoutable. You know what I mean? So Bateman, I think he's going to be that one guy they need to pursue hard in this draft. So I like the Ravens taking Bateman in here. They could take the Kadarius Toney, but I think Bateman's the better fit. I think Bateman does a lot more things that could help the Ravens be more unknown on offense. With the 28th pick, I have the New Orleans Saints selecting Zaven Collins, linebacker out of Tulsa. I can't see them taking a quarterback in the first round with this pick. I think they're going to try to bolster the linebacking core, which was okay. They have Demario Davis, who is really good. They had Quan Alexander, but he got hurt. He didn't really do much there. And he has a huge cap hit. I wouldn't be shocked if they cut him. It saves $13 million. And a guy they could look to replace the defensive player of the year in college football is Zaven Collins, linebacker out of Tulsa. A guy that I really like. I think he's very athletic, very versatile, can do a lot. Maybe not as athletic as Parsons and Koromoa, but he has a lot of upside to his game and a lot of potential in this league. With the 29th pick in the 2021 NFL Draft, I have the Green Bay Packers selecting Caleb Farley, cornerback out of Virginia Tech. Farley, I think he could be the big name that falls in this draft. Just because he opted out the season, there's a lot of guys that opted out. Their draft stock hasn't really, some of it's rising, some's falling. Most players aren't really, their stock has been the same. But Farley's a guy I could see falling. I feel like corner isn't the biggest need for a lot of teams, and a lot of other guys our draft stock could be going up, like J.C. Horn. I think he's going up. He's trending the right way up. But I actually think Farley's going to be a guy that falls, and I think if you're the Packers, you have to go for him after what you saw from Kevin King and Chandon Sullivan yesterday. A guy that has to be drafted, Caleb Farley. Tried to take him, try to get a steal here. With the 30th pick in the 2021 draft, I have the Buffalo Bills selecting Tyson Campbell, corner out of Georgia. Very talented corner. I believe the best corner on Georgia. I think he's better than Eric Stokes and obviously DJ Daniel. Tyson Campbell's going to be a first-round considerable prospect. He might go second round. He's not going to go third round. He's going first or second round. I have him going late first round here in Buffalo. They're probably going to be in the corner market. Get a guy next to Tre'Davious White. They could get a linebacker right here, maybe take Nick Bolton. But I think Buffalo is going to go with Tyson Campbell. I think he fits Sean McDermott's team as perfect as can be. Could be a future star in this league. I think he's going to be one of these guys people need to watch out for. I think Campbell is one of the most underrated prospects in this draft. With the 31st pick in the 2021 NFL Draft, I have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers selecting Davian Nixon, defensive tackle out of Iowa. One of the best defensive tackles in the country, and his draft stock has risen a lot. He was a first-team All-American, I believe. He's going to be pursued by teams. I think he falls a bit. This could end up being a steal. Maybe he goes earlier, maybe not. But Nixon, watch out for him. Tampa needs an interior offensive lineman. They don't have a ton of needs, but this is one of their biggest needs. I think Nixon is a guy they could pursue because Ndamukong could part in free agency. He's aging. They would like a young guy next to Vita Vea. That'd be huge for Tampa. And with the final pick in the 2021 NFL Draft first round, I have the Kansas City Chiefs selecting Kadarius Toney, wide receiver out of Florida. You got all these speedy guys like Mecole Hardman, Byron Pringle, Tyreek Hill. And they could even add to that. I think they add to that, which is huge. It helps Patrick Mahomes. It helps the scheme. It helps the offensive line. With the speed the Chiefs will have here, Kadarius Toney, perfect for the Chiefs. Andy Reid and Eric Bieniemy, they'll be looking for a guy. I don't think Bieniemy is going to get the Texans job. I think it'll be Leslie Frazier. And, you have Bieniemy and Reid. They're going to work with a lot of speedy guys. Kadarius Toney, watch out for him. A lot of people say speed doesn't translate to the NFL. That's true. Some guys don't. But the Chiefs know how to use speed the correct way with a top quarterback Patrick Mahomes. And Toney, watch out for the Chiefs to take a flyer on him. But I appreciate everyone and use some wheel routes with him. So I appreciate everyone being here. Sports expert here. This is my 2021 mock draft without trades. My one with trades will be coming up next week. So I appreciate everyone being here. Might have been a long video, but had to get it out. So I appreciate everyone being here. Sports expert here. I'm out, guys. This is my mock draft. Peace.